Hello, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today's video, I'm going to talk about how British people have finally had enough, and that is a good thing. Let's go. Now, I'm inspired to make this video because I just saw a clip yesterday, and it was an American guy who came on holiday to the UK, and he was essentially saying he got a lift to his Airbnb, and the cabbie charged him 60 quid. And the woman who owned the Airbnb came out to greet him, say hello, and she was like, "How much do you get charged for the cab?" And the American bloke was like, he didn't understand all the currencies and stuff. He's like, "Oh, 60 quid. And the woman was like, "What?" Apparently it should have been like 20 quid. And this woman was outraged and was saying like, "I need to get the number to phone them and I'm going to have a go at them. They're taking the mick out of a tourist and all this stuff." And the American was like, "Wow." He's like, "The title of this video is British People Will Have Your Back." And a lot of places, they just try and scam you and all this stuff. But he's saying he was amazed how this British person was getting angry on his behalf and how they didn't accept this sort of mickey taking and injustice. And I think that sums up Britain. British people are very tolerant, but if you really take the mick, then there's going to be trouble. And I think that's basically where we're at in this country. The politicians, the bad migrants, because there's many, many good migrants. I think that most of the bad migrants have basically come in the last 5 years or so. And a lot of British migrants who live here are fed up with these new illegal mickey-taking migrants. So I want to differentiate between the two. You know, the migrants are the good ones who come here, put in work, assimilate, brilliant. No one has a problem with that, obviously. But there's a new type of migrants. They come in, a lot of them come in illegally. They want to claim a lot of benefits. They don't want to work. They bring high rates of crime. They don't want to assimilate. They don't want to speak the language. A lot of them come from Muslim communities who hate the West and who want to turn our country into a Muslim country. They bring crime and terrorism and abuse of young children. And it's a disgrace what these new ones are doing. And what we're starting to see now is British people have reached their limit of their tolerance. But once we get annoyed, then we're going to do something about it. And I think that's the good thing, is we're at that stage now where Brits have had enough and we can do something about it. But we're also smart and we'll do things in a classy way. We're not like savages like a lot of the world. We'll do things in a smart way. And the riots last summer was falling to other people's levels. We don't need to do things like rioting and stupid stuff. We need to use our skills, which is our wisdom, our intelligence, our class, and do things from that point of view. So we need to organise. We need to protest Parliament. We need to have tax strikes. We need to have strikes, general strikes. People need to stop going to work days. I've got an idea, like if there's a terror attack, the next day, nobody goes to work. Or Monday to Friday, just get a million people or thousands, hundreds of thousands of people blocking Parliament so the politicians can't get into work. Let them know we're not having this stuff anymore. So I think it's actually a good thing. People are starting to wake up and our tolerance has been done and it's time for the British people to fight back. You can feel it in the air. People talking about civil war. I don't think necessarily has to be a civil war. There needs to be a revolution in this country, because once we get rid of all these politicians and ignore what they're doing, then we won't have a problem with these new illegals, with Islam and all this stuff, because we'll be able to solve the problem ourselves. So we just need a revolution. What they want is for people to get angry, British people to get angry and go and have a civil war, I don't know, against the Muslims and, attack mosques. And then the Muslims will get annoyed and attack British infrastructure. And then there'll be a massive civil war. That's probably what the elites want. What we need to do is we need to have cool heads and be smart and make sure that we attack our enemy where they don't want to be attacked. So we strike, we hit them in their wallets and in their power. So we ignore the politicians, start off something, stop paying taxes to the politicians, pay it to these charities or spiritual foundations, and hit them in their wallet. So stop paying any institution or any place that funds evil. We'll stop funding them. And once we use our brains and do it this way, we can cause a revolution with the power of the Spirit, with the power of Christ, and with the power of the Father. Not necessarily religious when I talk of these things. I'm talking about true spirituality. And true spirituality, the true power of Christ, that is the Force. It's like Star Wars. Once we have that, we have the Force, as Rupert Lowe says. When you have the Force, you'll defeat evil every time. What we don't want to do is not use the spiritual force, try and use brute strength, and that's just going to cause more bloodshed, more war, more problems. But if we use our wisdom and our strength where we need to use it with our warriors, then we can get to the promised land. So there is reason. The UK is not finished, far from finished. We're probably in a tremendous opportunity, because out of the ashes will spark the revolution and good things will happen. At the end of winter comes spring and a beautiful summer. So this is not a time for Brits to be too downtrodden. A lot of people seem depressed and hopeless and leaving the country. What I want to do, call the Brits back, come back to Britain and restore our country. Stop leaving the country. We need the good people to come here, and we can sort out the problems and remove all the trash from our country and make Britain great again with the power of Christ and the Father. Not like America. They want to make America great again with the power of materialism and Trumpism, but it's not going to work. You need the power of Christ and the Father. Then you'll have the Force, the kingdom of heaven on earth, and we can build Jerusalem on England green and pleasant land. So if you like what I'm talking about, subscribe to this channel. Soon, I'm working on a website, sorting out a website and a membership scheme, and getting a spiritual movement where we can actually put into practice these things I'm talking about. So as I say, if you like what I'm talking about, subscribe, because I will either transfer this channel to the new movement or start it on a new channel. But either way, stay here, stay tuned, because this stuff will hopefully be coming soon. In the meantime, share it with as many British people or even Westerners to let people know the way forward. Like the video if you like it, comment below if you have any comments, and God bless everyone. Goodbye.